Hey there, my name is Porsha Lauri. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I am wrapping up a very long running series that's been going on my channel for far too long. Today I'm going to be watching the final 2 episodes of Spinning Out. Now I did actually film this video a full year ago, but if you might remember in 2023 we were going through the writers and actors strikes. Now that all of that has come to an end, I feel that it is only appropriate that I finish up this series that I have been dragging my feet on for a couple years now. I'm assuming if you've clicked this video, you've probably seen all of my other videos about Spinning Out, but if not, there will be a playlist over here to the side. But first, as always, if you enjoy my opinion on TV shows, movies, music, what have you, do me a solid and drop a like on this video. Then run over to that subscribe button, hit that, and the bell next to it so you can be notified every time I upload. And also, I co-host a podcast with my boyfriend and his best friend. We just talk about movies and it's a whole lot of fun, so I hope you'll join us over there, the Cinema Sit Down podcast. It'll be linked in the description box below. So without further ado, I've got my Nirvana shirt on. I am ready to get into the final review for this TV show, and I cannot wait for it to end. As I did mention before, I did watch this, but it was a full year ago, and I promise you I really don't remember this ending. So hopefully this final reaction video will be everything you guys wanted and more. And also from this point forward, I will not be reviewing shows that I haven't already figured out if I like or don't like them, because three years to make like one season of television into like a commentary is absolutely ridiculous. I've also upgraded. I have little Raycons now. I'm not sponsored, but would love to be. Be sure in the comments to let me know who was your favorite character of the season. What was your favorite like arc of the season or like subplot? Let me know. I want to say that where we left off, I don't remember where we left off whatsoever. So I'm just going to do my best. That's what I get for literally sitting on this for a year. So we start off with a flashback, and it's flashing back to the injury that we saw Kat go through at the very beginning of the show. If you can remember that far back. If you can remember the very first episode, she had done some kind of jump thing in her program, fell and hit her head really hard. And so we are harking back to that original thing to kind of get some context from it. But then we fast forwarded because she is with her mom in the hospital. If I remember correctly, the last episode had to do with Justin, and she like threw a party there during a manic episode. Oh yeah, that's where we left off. Okay, so basically her mom is able to keep their secret about the fact that she has bipolar from everyone, but Justin does in fact know now of her condition, I guess you could say. I don't know what mental health awareness looks like in ice skating. I would imagine that if you have a mental health issue or disorder and you bring it attention or light to it, that I could see how in the ice skating world that might harm you. There's kind of this perfection idea that goes along with ice skating. It's kind of similar to like ballerinas, where you're striving for perfection all the time, and it's kind of bleeds into like actual life stuff. And you know, humans obviously are not meant to be perfect, but I would imagine that ice skating does carry with it some negative connotation about how you carry yourself and how your appearance matters almost just as much, if not more, than your skating ability. So I think that that's why they want to keep it out of the public eye. If I remember correctly, that, I mean, we're going to be kind of flipping the script on that narrative, but like something like that is going down. So she also made up a lie to get her out of sectionals the next day, which is, you know, a big major competition. But not competing in sectionals means that her and Justin can't go to nationals this year, which wasn't the original plan anyway, but this is disappointing for Kat. Back at Justin's, his dad's there and he heard about the party. And so the party was thrown by him, and that's because that's what Justin wants him to think. He's trying not to spread the word about Kat. And so since he's taking the brunt of the blame, his dad's giving him 24 hours to get the hell out of his hotel, which is where he lives. So Dasha let Jen move in. They're kind of taking care of each other in a way. That's right, Jen had to get some insane surgery, so she basically can no longer skate. I don't know if she's been told that just yet, but I know that's coming. That's why she's on crutches. She had a really big fall in the last episode, I believe. And then Dasha, we find out, had a brief romance with a lady who also skated back in the day. She was kind of talking about this a lot in the last episode, and now Jen is really pushing her to be like, you should contact her. Like, contact her. Like, what's the worst that could happen, you know? Carol and the coach are currently still dating, and I guess his lease is about to go up. So she heard this and assumed that he was asking if he could move in, but he was actually asking her to be his real estate agent. And so this was a little off-putting. We'll circle back to that later, I assume. And then over in Serena's room, we see her with sunglasses on. She was taking photos of herself topless. So Serena tells Kat that she started dating Zhou. So allegedly that's where the topless photo went to. And Zhou is one of Justin's brothers. We've been seeing them kind of interacting throughout the season. So Jen is at one of her final appointments with her doctor. The doctor that we've been seeing all season that's been telling her to like, take it easy on your injury. And then she got injured and he was like, I told you so. But we're seeing that they're kind of wrapping up, and he's saying that she's going to be ready to start going into physical therapy, which would make her not his patient anymore. To which he then asks her out on a date. And if you think that's weird, it is. I don't remember a whole lot of these episodes, but this is one storyline I did hang on to. It's probably the best twist of the whole series. Part of me is like, okay, maybe I would have signed up for one more season if they were going to really dive into this. You know what? We'll talk about it when we get there. For what you need to know right now is Jen is being asked out by her doctor, and if it sounds weird, it is weird. She does turn him down and hobbles away quickly. So Jen and Marcus have shots, and he just found out that Kat has pneumonia, so you know what that means. Actually, you don't know what that means. I also don't know what that means. So Carol is filling in for Mandy since Mandy's got, the new baby at home. So Carol is taking care of this really big property sale and is kind of showing this guy around, and he keeps making flirty eyes at her. Justin's being kind of a dick to her, but I also understand. He's like covering for her because, it's like not his secret to tell, but also he's upset because it kind of fucked up his life. So Brent, his teammate on the ski team, says that he called in sick, or said that he overslept and that's why he missed the race. So maybe he's not actually off the ski team, but he keeps saying that he got kicked off the ski team because he got arrested for helping break up the Rager. Jen goes up to Justin's apartment because she saw Kat leaving the hotel, so she knew that she didn't have pneumonia, and that was a bogus story, but I think Jen already knew that. And so she tells that to Justin. Justin's like, whatever, I don't care. And he's packing up to leave. And you can tell Jen kind of you can't tell because the acting's not that great. But there's an epiphany that Jen has where she was like, I was so obsessed with you and I don't really know why. And she's like, I'm gonna go get coffee with the doctor. So that's what changes her mind. She's gonna accept that coffee date. Put that in your pocket for later. Meanwhile, she asked Justin, she was like, oh wow, you really liked her, didn't you? And he won't admit, the big L word, but he's like, yeah, I really liked her. And so Jen gives him a hug to just kind of say I get where you're coming from. She was my best friend. Okay, so Carol confirms it. She says the image is just as important as landing the jumps. So her thoughts are that the figure skating community is not ready to be open-minded about mental health. So Mitch tries to have a conversation with Carol about the whole moving in thing, and he brings up just the simple fact of we don't have to go all or nothing, there's baby steps. He's like, we haven't even said I love you yet. And she's like, well, I love you. Now what's your excuse? And so she's being a little extra about it. So Justin swings by Dasha's and say goodbye, and he says he's leaving town for a little while tomorrow. So yeah, Dasha's pissed off because she also knows, she's like, you don't have pneumonia. Something is going on. There's no reason, Justin suddenly is leaving town and quitting skating. and like you have pneumonia the day before sectionals, so like things are going awry. And so Dasha comes by and she's like, what the hell? Like, tell me the truth. And Kat just goes along with the lie, and she's like, I have pneumonia. And so Dasha says, that sucks. I had high hopes for you. And she's like, I'm no longer your coach. Basically, like, if you can't be 100 with me, then there's no reason for us to continue in this relationship. Of course, Carol's there too. So Carol's like, well, maybe she had a better coach, she wouldn't have gotten pneumonia. Which I was like, that was the worst comeback on the planet, but we're gonna overlook that. And so that's where we're at right now. Things are literally spinning out of control. So Serena's texting someone. She says, I've been texting you all day and you're not answering me and I'm freaking out. Keep that in mind. Back with Marcus and Alana. Basically, that scene was just to establish that he doesn't feel comfortable talking about it with his coach, so he's not going to. And, you know, kind of the woe is me thing. He doesn't want to do anything to try to help his situation. He just kind of, at the moment, wants to wallow. Or Jen called the doc and they're out for coffee. And he says he's had a crush on her for kind of a while. So it's also important to know, in case you don't know, and literally the only reason I know this knowledge is because I watch How I Met Your Mother, but doctors are not allowed to date their patients. It's a HIPAA violation. And I guess, like, if you are not their direct doctor anymore, that is negated. Like, you can be obviously a doctor and date someone who could be a patient of somebody else, but like, they can't be your direct patient, which makes sense because, you know, that's how wild shit goes on. But I think it's really weird for him to like admit that he's had a crush on her for a while and he was just kind of biding his time until she wasn't his patient. Like, to me, that's like a little weird. It's not a good look. Like, you're going to be biased. So I think it's a little weird for him to admit that he's had a crush on her for a long time, because he should have just referred her to someone else and then he could have taken the initiative to go from there. So I don't know. I think it's all a little weird. Okay, so there's this huge Baker girls blowout. Oh my God, why haven't I been using that term all of these episodes anyway? So Kat has decided she's going to sectionals. Like, her and Justin are still on the schedule, so she's like, I'm gonna make it work. I don't know what I have to do. I'm gonna beg, plead, get them to forgive me, go over the routine tonight and skate tomorrow. Carol doesn't want her to get injured, and on top of that, doesn't want her to backtrack in the progress she's making. Carol grabs her jacket and she's like, you're not leaving. Like, I won't go to sectionals with Serena. Like, I'll stay home with you. And so Serena comes out of her room, obviously probably hearing all the commotion and then her name being dropped. And she's like, what? Now you're not going to sectionals? Like, this could be, I could win. Like, I could be going off to nationals. Like, basically saying like, Mom, I need you also. Full on like yelling match between all three of them. Serena finally says like, I may not have mental health issues, but I live with the two of you and you guys are driving me up a wall. And she's like, I'm tired of keeping all of your secrets. And this is where she finally reveals that the reason that Kat fell at that previous competition is because Carol, who I believe was off her meds because she was off her meds at the beginning of the show, said that in order for Kat to win, she needed to put her arms up during the Lutz. Now, so more or less, the reason Kat fell actually has more to do with her mom than anyone else. And now that just now is getting revealed to Kat. And apparently Serena knew the entire time and her mom swore her to secrecy. Which is pretty fucked up. Also, the show gives me a brand new love for January Jones, and I kind of want to try watching Mad Men again. So with all this new knowledge, she realizes like that's what threw off everything. That's what changed everything. It was never the same after that fall. And so she grabs all of her stuff and she leaves. I mean, Carol really doesn't have a leg to stand on. And then we cut over to Kat and we see her watching her fall over and over again, which I don't think is a good idea. Definitely that's re-traumatizing. And now Kat is emailing Dasha. She says, no more hiding, no more secrets. Okay, so basically she's sending emails to everyone. So she sent one to Dasha, Marcus, Justin, all individually kind of catering to what she needs to apologize to them for and coming clean about her secret. Oh, Jen too. I like this. I like that Kat in person goes to Justin's dad to tell him the truth of what was happening. Marcus said the email changed his mind and put it in perspective, and so he talked to the ski coach team and is on his way to Argentina tomorrow, so everything's good. I kind of hate that they gave us this like idea that they were gonna hook up Marcus and Kat, and then that never came to fruition, and by the end of the season completely didn't matter. So I wish they either had them date or didn't do that storyline and just cut that character out, because there was no reason for him to exist. But that's neither here nor there. Jen's in Kat's room to talk to her about the bipolar, and Jen just is asking her questions to try to understand better. But she seems really open-minded and more understanding of why Kat's behavior can be so up and down, for lack of a better term. Justin's dad came to his place to apologize to him. Oh wow, this is actually really good. This is a good scene. Okay, I had to recap that because I actually was like top tier. That was good acting right there. But basically Justin's dad comes in and he's like, I'm sorry for what I said to you. And I know I mentioned it in whatever episode we found out, but Justin's mother passed away. And so his dad says, like, I see a lot of your mother in you. The twins, who are his younger brothers, are just like him, straightforward, rough around the edges. Justin is more like his mom, and sometimes that makes it harder for him because he misses his mom so much, and he's, angry that she went away, so to speak, which is common in most people who have a significant other who have passed away. But I really thought that was, I don't know, that scene was really beautiful. Like, I guess it could be considered super cliche or a little bit like predictable, but I really enjoyed the way he delivered that. I believe those words. I will maintain, I don't think that this show is that good or very well put together. I do, however, think that some of the acting is really, really good. Kayla Scodelario, whatever her name is, she's really good. She's the main character. The girl who plays Kat, like, she's really good from, what was that show? That teen show? Skins. Oh, shit! This is the plot twist I was waiting for. So Serena's in a car and you assume she's talking to Drew, and she's like, I haven't been able to get a hold of you all day. My family's so fucking crazy. Sectionals, I'm so nervous. Like, I just needed you around. And she says, it felt like after we did the Devil's Tango, you just disappeared and you didn't want to talk to me anymore. And then it's revealed it's not true. It's the doctor! Oh my god. Yeah, okay. So a year ago when I first watched this episode, this sent me flying. I wish I still had that footage. I don't know where it is. Yeah, this sent me over the moon. I was super not expecting this, super not prepared, and I was like, this is the plot twist I have been waiting for all season. Cut the entire Marcus plot line. They should have had more of this throughout the season, and then they might have gotten a season 2. Not me with the threats. I'm just suggesting that there was a possibility. So Serena invites the doctor to see her skate because she thinks that'll help her with her anxiety. And so he agrees that he'll be there, and he'll just say he's there to support a patient. Ew! Ew! And we thought Mitch was gonna be the offender this whole time. By the way, Carol went drinking at the hotel because she had gotten a huge fight with the other Baker girls. And the guy that she was trying to sell the real estate to found her in the bar. And he noticed that she's been like crying, she's teary-eyed. And so he's like, I hope you're not crying over a boyfriend. To which Carol responds with, nope, no boyfriend. So put that in your back pocket. Justin shows up at Dasha's, and that's where Kat ran off to. So she's with Dasha. Oh, I forgot all about that. That's really, oh my god, that's really tough. Me like talking shit of this whole series, and then I get to the last 2 episodes and suddenly I'm like, oh my god. That is actually really rough. So Justin comes over to ask Kat, when did you stop taking your meds? Was it before or after regionals? And he needs to know this because that's when she told him that she loved him, and he said, I love you too. And he needs to know like when all of this went down, because he meant what he said, but he's not sure if she meant what she said or if she even remembers it. I absolutely do think that she loves him though. That's for sure. All right, let's get into the last episode. All right, so we're going to sectionals. We don't know if Kat and Justin are gonna skate. We do know that Serena is gonna skate. So it starts off with a little clip of them as kids and Kat being there for Serena when she had like fallen during a competition. Fast forward to it's the next day and Serena can't find her mom. She didn't come home the night before. So Kat and Jen talk a little bit about her debacle, and Jen suggests like just telling Justin you love him, and she's like, I can't lie to him anymore. I have to know for sure if how I feel is how I feel. We find Carol, and she did in fact, we're gonna assume she slept with the guy that she was selling the real estate to because she woke up in his hotel room. So Mitch finally gets a hold of Carol and she lies, you know, saying she was just out all night and her phone died and work stuff. It's always halfway through these videos and I'm like, I don't want to sit in this chair anymore. So Dasha, Jen, and Kat are all up in the morning having breakfast. So Justin comes over to inform them that he wants to skate regardless of what's going on with them personally. A lot of this episode I think is just going to be kind of like cinching up storylines. So there's like not a lot of substance happening just yet. It's too early. Carol just arrived. Carol and Kat kind of shared a look and went off in their separate directions. So Mitch actually admits that he loves Carol and how much it tore him apart when his ex cheated on him. So it's really driving up the guilt for Mama Carol. Oh, this is where Mandy admits she hadn't told James, Justin's dad, that she had previously had a baby and lost it when she was a teenager. Oh, no, she didn't lose it. She gave it up for adoption when she was 15. She never got to hold the baby. So there's all this kind of negativity around babies and why she was so fearful around getting pregnant and then trying to deliver, which she ended up delivering early. I think I went over that in a previous episode. Dasha is telling them, she's like, I told the two of you to maintain this partnership, don't make it more. And she's like, but yeah, you ignored me. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all that anger and you're gonna put it out into your art, okay? And Justin is like so passive aggressive. He's like, I'm not angry. And she's like, okay, then fake it. Oh my God, a response. And we're gonna see them skate the short for what, the bajillionth time? Oh my God, I can't believe, why are they showing us the short program again? We've already seen this. It irritates me. And it's not me just saying I've seen this already because this is the second time I'm watching these episodes, but we've seen the short program in a different episode. Road Triple Loop was beautiful. They did good. So the short program went really well and they are in first after the short. So Carol sees Kat leaving in the parking lot and begs her to talk to her. And Carol asks if she'll cover for her, basically saying, you know, if Mitch asks where I was that night, will you say I was with you? She mentions love isn't always an emotion for them. Sometimes it's a decision, which I think is an interesting perspective. So Serena found Ethan flirting with Jen. And now Ethan is saying that he thought they were just having fun. And he says, you're not really mature enough to handle this. Ah! Oh my God, this guy.
Brother, this guy stinks!
This storyline, they just popped up on us on the last two episodes. Rude. So rude. I'm so mad. I'm so mad that they waited till it almost feels like a last minute decision to do this. They're like, what would really stir up the audience's like emotions? Remember when we told you to be concerned about Mitch and how close he was to Serena? Just kidding, he wasn't it. Like, it's a little frustrating. Dasha tells Jen that she invited Tatiana to the competition, but Tatiana said no, and that some memories should be best left as that, memories. So now we're at practice and we're seeing Johnny Weir and his partner, you know, nailing tricks and stuff, and then kind of back and forth with Kat and Justin, which I have seen pairs teams practice like this where they're kind of one-upping each other. That kind of like, okay, so she's doing a lift with Justin, and he like the lift goes awry, so she like almost falls, and he catches her, and she says, you know, thanks for catching me. And he said, I told you I'd never let you fall. And this is when she's like, oh my god, this is it, Justin, I love you. And he looks at her dead in her face and goes, fuck you, and skates away. So they're like chasing after each other now. So she explains further that from the first time he said that, which is like an ongoing thing that he said at the beginning of them starting to skate together, that he would never let her fall, and this is the first person that she's trusted enough to actually follow through with that, and it's why she's not fearful of skating at this rink where a lot of obvious trauma went down. So you can see Justin coming around, and he's like, okay, like, you know what this means though. You can't just disappear, you can't just like not tell me things, you've gotta like, if we're in, we're both in. And so they kiss. Oh, he had a tear rolling down his face too. That was good. That was a like legit tear. I'm like scrolling back to make sure I saw that accurately. Some pretty decent acting there. Look at them go. I have come around because I really hated this man when I first started watching the show. And now I hate him a little less. Another flashback. So we can see that like Kat is trying to remember like how close she used to be to Serena. So Kat doesn't know fully what's going on, but her idea is that Drew told her he loved her, and when all he really wanted was to do the devil's tango. So Kat immediately went up to Drew, but Drew confirmed that no, he likes her and asked her out, and she gave him the cold shoulder and friend zoned him. Okay, so James, Justin's dad, is at the meet, and he is like, oh, I'm excited to see my son skate. I'm so proud of you. And Justin's like, I know you're proud when I win, but like, I don't think you've ever enjoyed watching me skate. And so the truth finally comes out, and James is like, Mandy had a baby years ago, and I just now found out. And Justin basically tells him to give her grace. Okay, I do remember how this all like kind of figures itself out, so I'll kind of give you a brief overview of how this goes towards the end, just because like trying to tell you about it as it's happening is going to be pointless and confusing. So Serena is skating her long program, but keep in mind her head's not really in it. Ooh. And she fell in her first jump, first triple. I think it was a triple flip, might have been a triple toe, I'm not sure, but she fell on it. Yeah, I want to look into how they filmed this. I don't know if they did this similarly to how they did Ice Princess. I've slowed down some of those shots, so if you go back to that video, I made that like forever ago, like 2019 or something. But you can see that they put Michelle Trachtenberg's face on another skater, and like, because that movie came out in like 2002 or something, like the graphics look absolutely fucking terrible. Also, I just want to like throw it out there because it is so irritating if you're someone part of the skating community, especially if you are an ex-skater. I get so irritated when people are like, they really skated, they had a background. I can almost guarantee you that 99% of people who portray figure skating in a film, TV show, whatever, have never skated in their life. They may have the basics. These actors train for 6 months and then suddenly are like perfect Olympians is ridiculous. Stop it. No, they're not. I think there are so many comments on the Ice Princess video of being like, Michelle Trachtenberg was a figure skater, and like, she wasn't. And there's like, you can go and look at the behind the scenes and you can literally see her laying on like an apparatus as they spin her around because she's not really doing it. But you know what is funny is that Sarah Michelle Gellar actually was a figure skater. So there's like one random episode of Buffy where she like figure skates for no apparent reason. At least I don't remember what the reason is, but there's an episode where she's ice skating and it's legitimately Sarah Michelle Gellar. So yeah, are there times where they get someone who has a figure skating background? For sure. But like most of the time when you're watching something, like they're not figure skaters. They cannot skate like Olympians. They don't even get close. They literally know the basics. And like, it wouldn't be enough for them to start competing tomorrow. Like I, Tonya was a great movie. Do I believe that Margot Robbie can ice skate effectively? Like, probably not. Like, I don't want to be the person to be like, rip down your dreams. Like, if you really truly believe that, like, Kayla Scodelario is really doing these ice skating moves, like, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but I can almost guarantee you none of these people skate very well. Oh, last thing. The production companies have to take out insurance on these actors, and like, you know, if they get injured on the job, like that's more money they have to pay. So like generally they also don't really want these actors doing tricks that they are not really trained properly to do, because it takes years of practice to become an Olympian. So also that's why they're stunt skaters, you know, that's their job. Like they're insured separately in a different way, and it's way different if they get injured versus, you know, Meryl Streep. I just want to give perspective to people. Like really, I just want to give perspective. You know, I'm not trying to douse your dreams. I'm just saying the reality is most these actors don't all have backgrounds in figure skating, and that's how they landed themselves on this gig. Okay, so Kat goes up to Mitch to ask him if he's sleeping with Serena. Mitch clarifies no, nothing's happening between them at all. Kat unintentionally told him that Carol wasn't with her after all. So Mitch walks away mid-performance, mid-Serena skating, and now we're just stuck with Carol and Kat. Yeah, we just kind of see Serena making mistake after mistake. She almost slips on a turn as well, which should be like the easiest thing to do ever. So, I mean, I think it goes without saying, like, Serena didn't have a good program. She's probably not going to go to nationals. That's kind of beside the point. So Kat's still on the mission, still trying to find whoever this person is. And Carol texts Kat and says it's Ethan. And so he's trying to say that she's delusional and she was just a teenage girl with a crush and he did nothing. But Kat's not buying it. I don't understand this. Okay, so yeah, I didn't like this the first time I saw it, and I really don't like it now because it doesn't make Jen look like a consistent person. In my personal opinion, and feel free to disagree with me. But basically Kat says, yeah, I know what happened to Serena. It was Ethan. And so Jen says, okay, well, first it was Drew and then it was Mitch, which is something that Kat thought, not anybody else. So that's not really fair to put on her. And like, now that it's Ethan, she's not buying it. And she's like, why would my sister lie about this? And Jen says, well, it is your sister, which isn't like how Jen has spoken to Kat. And I also think Jen might come off a little like harsh or like very straightforward, blunt, one might say. But I don't know that she would throw that back in Kat's face. And I know that she was hurt by Kat for hooking up with Justin, but like, again, I don't know. I don't think this is consistent for Jen. To me, as Jen was standing right next to Kat, looking at those text messages, if it's confirmed, she already has a little bit of backstory. And the Mitch thing that we already established, that was all in Kat's head and that wasn't factual. So like, she knows something else is going on with somebody else. I don't see why Jen wouldn't be like, I just want to see the proof. Like, I'm not going to call you a liar. Just let me see the proof. She's only gone on one coffee date and like stayed the night with him one time. So I don't know. And they've shown a lot of flashbacks. Like, Jen and Kat have been friends since they were little kids. And it's only recently that they had this big falling out. So I'm not really buying that Jen would totally just abandon Kat all over again just for accusing her new boyfriend. I think that that's a little inaccurate, but that's, again, personal opinion. And I hate that they just keep using like the term crazy as like a blanket statement for why you shouldn't like talk to any of the Baker women. I think that's poor writing. And I also think that's like dumbing down it's dumbing down the emotions of this story, the impact of this story, because it keeps just saying, well, you're crazy, so therefore this. And like, maybe that does happen a lot, so I can understand that, but it's just kind of boring to like listen from an audience point of view. I'm like, this is really boring. We're not getting anywhere. You just kind of use the same put down over and over again. James eventually comes back with Mandy, and he's kind of like, I'm sorry that I ran away from you like that. I won't do that again, and I love you. And we can get through this. So that's kind of wrapped up. This is actually a really good scene too. Serena I like the way that she's, like, the actor is portraying this. She's doing an excellent job. But basically she does say, and I thought this for most of the show, is that she is really neglected because she is the least problematic, you know, of the three of them. And so Serena says at one point, Kat moved out, her dad came into town and then left just as quickly, and then her mom started dating Mitch, so that left Serena alone a lot. And she recently sprained her wrist, and the doctor said, you know, he cared about her, was there for her, was nice to her. And that's, you know, it can be that simple. Just these events all aligned up, and that's what created this situation to happen. I'm not, like, negating anyone's fault, you know, obviously he was the adult, he didn't have to do this. But anyway, I don't know, the way that they wrote this, like how it can go from 0 to 60 so quickly, in the blink of an eye, I think this is really well thought out, like really well done pacing wise. Good job, writers. Kat wants to call the police, but Carol steps in and she's like, no, your job is to skate right now. You did nothing wrong leaving the house. None of this is your fault. I'm the mom, and it's time that I took control. And Serena tells Kat, like, you need to go skate. Something good has to come out of all of this. So please, like, it's important to us too. Like, you have to go out there and do your thing. Johnny Weir and Leah are skating. I don't know what they're skating to, but it looks intense. I don't know if she is a professional skater, but we do know Johnny Weir is out here actually being a figure skater because he was an Olympian. Is an Olympian? Was? I don't know the proper terminology. He competed at the Olympics. I think he placed too. I don't know if he won or if he got second. I feel like he got second, but I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie, I am way more versed in female figure skating than I am at all in male figure skating. Not to say that I'm unaware of all of them, I just don't watch it as much. I don't like the way that this show ends though, because I do remember this part. So Kat makes it in the nick of time, no makeup on her face, but she's ready to skate the long program. So we see them enter the ice, we see them look at each other, we see Dasha watching and, you know, doing the coach thing. Oh, and we're getting a flashback, but it's not like a full flashback, like a flashback to earlier that day. We see that Dasha does get to see Tatiana again. So she did end up coming down to the competition, which is pretty cool. I don't think we see anything beyond them saying hello to each other, but it's an understanding that she changed her mind. And then we're kind of getting just a montage wrap up of stuff. We see Carol, which I would assume later on that day because she's wearing the same outfit, shows up at the doctor's house and she hit him with something. Oh, she hit him with a baseball bat. And then she called the police and reported an assault. So I don't know if she was gonna report herself and just like turn herself in and just let that be the bat on that, or if she's going to report. We'll never know. And then they finish up the flashback of what we were seeing earlier, which is when Kat and Serena were really little and she had fallen during her competition. And their mom comes and gets them, and it seems to be kind of the middle of the night, so they think that their mom's not feeling well, like going through an episode. But in actuality, she made them a whole little fort campsite in their backyard. She brought out s'mores for them to roast to just, you know, make the best out of a bad day. And then we see Carol and Serena watching Kat from the stands. But we're not gonna see this long program, which is so fucking irritating because we never got to see the long program. And that is a wrap on Spinning Out. Well, we did it, y'all. We made it through the entire season and never gonna watch another episode again. That was lovely. So to wrap things up, I hate where it ended because it does end on somewhat of a cliffhanger that we'll never get answers to. So there's that. But I hope you guys had fun reacting to it with me. I've had some laughs. It has reinvigorated my love for figure skating. Actually, the other day I randomly just watched Tara Lipinski's Olympic long program, and it made me like remember. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of love figure skating. The show really did not a lot for me, but I'd like to see someone else attempt a figure skating show. One that hopefully involved a little bit more figure skating and less real life stuff. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you enjoyed watching this season. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you, tell me who your favorite character was, your favorite plots. You know, I mentioned all that at the top. But until next time, I will catch you guys later. As always, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed my opinion, please be sure to do me a solid and drop a like on it. Please make sure you go check out the podcast, the Cinema Sit Down podcast. It'll be linked in the description. And until then, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.